Maidens of Mayhem, a novel by R. Sparks. This text is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to real persons or events is purely coincidental. Certain things in this book may be disturbing to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. No part of this book may be reproduced, stored, or distributed without permission from the author. Quotes may be attributed to the text. Forward. To my few, yet loyal fans, it's here. It's been coming for 2 years, and now it's here. I put the axe to grind and actually finished a book for once. Not a short story as I'm known for, a real 400-plus page book. I've gained and lost, mostly lost, a lot of friends over the course of working on this, and even as I write this forward, the future seems uncertain and dangerous. I'd be a liar if I said I wasn't afraid. Afraid for myself, my work, my family. I live in a very uncertain time. Yet at the same time, I'm excited too. In the words of the infamous Pablo Picasso, in order to create, one must destroy. Ironically, he also said to make oneself hated is more difficult than to make oneself loved. I must be very good at doing difficult things to have made the enemies I have. That is neither here nor there, though. If you just picked up this book, then welcome to my world. There are a couple of things that I want you to keep in mind when reading it. First off, this is not a book for children. My work has been politely described as R-rated Disney and more impolitely described as bipolar fairy tales. There is cursing, blood, death, and some truly stomach-turning things in here, although it's not without its lighthearted and even humorous moments. Second, this book took heavy influence from Eastern media, particularly the works of various shonen mangaka. If you find any phrases or descriptions strange, it is probably a result of being raised as a reader myself on that and pulp novels from the 20s to the 50s. Third, the chapters of this book, which I have termed recollections as they largely take place in memory, are always parsed into 2 or more sections that often take place in different times and places. These partitions are noted by a large black dash coming across the page. Lastly, this is a novel, and nothing more. It's not intended to harm or offend anybody. To that end, I hope you find this novel just that. Novel. Entertaining. Different. With that, I'd like to thank you sincerely for, at the very least, reading the above. Hopefully you'll give the rest of this a read too. Robert Sparks. Get the soundtrack at maidensofmayhem.bandcamp.com. Think I'm worth something? Drop me some dough at libirapay.com/Arabus. Visit the Reddit at r/thebookofmayhem. Questions? Complaints? Death threats? Send them over to arabusnx@gmail.com. Acknowledgements. A big thanks to the following people. Robert Sparks Sr., my uncle and the only person who's been consistently on my side from day one. Brennan Shark B. Thanks for being there for me, and know that you will always and forever be my friend and trusted confidant. Alex G. You are the one friend that I've actually made, kept, and trusted while the world around me has been burning. Timothy J. Rest assured that I will always care about you, and that you've been my best friend for as long as time ticks. Hassan N. My dear rival, whom I miss more than most of my friends. Rest in peace, and may we compete further in the next life. Douglas Van Dyke, Jr., for throwing me into the harsh and expensive world of writing, kicking and screaming. And Sloane H., for being the biggest motivation I've had to do anything in a very, very long time. This one's for you, you son of a bitch. Glossary. Voloth, spelled V-O-L-A-T-H. A lizard person. They typically hail from the deserts of Voland, and tend to be big and broad creatures. They have scales across most of their bodies, but may also possess thin feathers in place of hair. Tails are a common trait. Patterns and colors vary wildly. Lyuk, spelled L-Y-U-K. May also be pronounced lurk. A type of blood-sucking undead typically classified as a vampire. Their bones and blood are pitch black, and their skin a grayish color. Among their powers are regeneration, longevity, the ability to turn into a cloud of mist, and paralyzing venomous fangs. Minotaur, spelled M-I-N-O-T-A-U-R. A large humanoid presenting as a mix of cow or bull and human. Their head and things from the waist down tend to be bovine, while their torsos are more human. Though they tend to be brutish, they are accepted in modern society. Males have horns, and females do not. Cyclops, spelled C-Y-C-L-O-P-S. Large, monstrous humanoids with a single eye in their heads. They are the result of wild goblins who lack an outlet for magical ability. The magic is metabolized, and they are transformed. They tend to be smarter than their ilk, and come in various primary colors. Okami, spelled O-K-A-M-I. Wolf-like humanoids that hail from the Far East past the oceans. They possess lupine heads, tails, feet, and unmentionables. Most have an innate magical ability, the extent of which varies from individual to individual. They also possess the power to transform into a wolf. Kitsune, spelled K-I-T-S-U-N-E. Fox-like humanoids that hail from the Far East past the oceans. They possess vulpine ears, tails, and unmentionables, but are otherwise human in appearance. They are known for their cunning, trickery, and strong backs. They also possess the power to transform into a fox. Jothrudari, spelled J-O-R-T-H-R-I-D-A-R-I. A magical spear of unknown origin. The wielder of the spear gains the power to control the earth around them. It is an enchanted item, and therefore its name or part of its name must be spoken to activate its power. Matishelya, spelled M-A-T-I-X-E-L-Y-A. A large and ancient monster hailing from the time when gods and the dragon's ancestors were of the same family. They are hulking monstrosities with X-shaped heads that sport 4 arms, as well as scorpion-like tails they use to drink their victims dry. Drekiveithi, the Dragon Worshipper's Bible, written long before modern times by a small group of prophets and their dragon lords. It contains a heavy amount of mythology, but most notably the only modern, albeit butchered, telling of the way they thought the world would end.